The restaurant was small, tucked away from the main drag, the kind of place that valued discretion over decor. Falak pushed open the heavy wooden door, the bell above it chiming softly, a quiet herald of her arrival. A scent of exotic spices and aged oak hit her first, a mix that was both comforting and foreign. She didn't need to ask for a table. Her eyes immediately scanned the room, bypassing the few scattered diners. Her gaze landed on the far corner, a secluded booth partially hidden by a large potted palm. There he was. He was sitting alone, his silhouette distinct against the soft amber light of the corner lamp. He didn't turn. His back was to her, a broad, familiar form that sent a current of anticipation and anxiety through her veins. He was staring out the window, watching the city lights begin to blur in the gathering evening, appearing almost statuesque in his stillness. Falak took a breath, clutching her handbag a little tighter, and began to weave her way through the empty tables toward him. Falak navigated the quiet maze of the restaurant, her heart hammering a frantic rhythm against her ribs. As she reached the secluded booth, she took a steadying breath and slid into the chair opposite him. "How are you, Mohit?" She greeted him warmly, her voice a soft contrast to the room's heavy silence. Mohit turned his gaze from the window to her. He smiled, a warm, genuine expression that held a touch of deep admiration as he took in her presence. He stood, gesturing for her to sit. "I'm good," he replied, his eyes crinkling at the corners. "And thank you for coming on time. I was afraid that I was going to be ditched by a beautiful artist." He tried to joke, a light-hearted attempt to pierce the thick veil of tension surrounding her family's name. Falak couldn't help but offer a genuine smile in return, the first one that had reached her eyes since the chaos began. "How are you?" he asked once she sat in her seat. His voice dropped to a serious, protective tone. Falak's smile faded, replaced by a gloomy look. Mohit leaned forward, his hands clasped on the table. "Don't worry, everything will be fine. My family and I are here for you." His voice soft, full of promises. Falak smiled softly, unsure whether to trust him or. Soon, the waiter came with 2 cups of coffee. Falak took a slow sip and looked out. She could feel his eyes on her, studying her, observing her. Maybe admiring her. "You know why I am here. Mohit, I need to know what happened in London. I need to know if my brother is a criminal or a victim," she said, finally looking at him. Her eyes looked dull, full of worry questions. He hummed, looking at her. He pulled out an envelope from his suit jacket and placed it on the table. She looked at the envelope, then at him, her eyes curious. "My investigator got the CCTV footage of the apartment Sana used to live in London," he answered her. "Any luck?" she asked, eager for any positive news. "Not much, but I got something for you." He gestured toward the envelope. She took out the photos and some articles that were in. Everything she read and saw shocked her. "This can't be," she whispers, unable to form a sentence. Mohit nodded, confirming her doubt. A tear slipped from her eyes. Mohit gave a sympathetic look and put his palm over her to give her strength. She cried. Now, what would she do? How will she get her brother out of this? Looking at her crying form, he moved toward her and hugged her. She, out of exhaustion, leaned on his shoulder. What she didn't know was that she had been watched. The rain, or perhaps just the grime of the city, blurred the edges of the restaurant window, but Saksham's vision was laser-focused. From the darkened interior of his car, the world felt muted, except for the golden glow of the booth where Falak sat. He watched her crumble. He saw the way her shoulders shook, the way her strength seemed to dissolve into the air. Usually, her vulnerability was something he wanted to guard, a secret map only he was allowed to read. But then, the frame changed. That man moved. When his hand covered hers, Saksham's grip on the steering wheel tightened until his knuckles turned a ghostly white. It wasn't just anger. It was a cold, territorial burn that hummed in his veins. Then came the side hug. The way his Falak, leaned into the other man's shoulder out of sheer exhaustion felt like a physical blow to Saksham's chest. His breath hitched, turning into a low, dangerous hiss. He didn't just want to pull her away. He wanted to erase the space that man occupied. Inside the car, the air grew heavy, thick with the scent of leather and repressed fury. Saksham's eyes narrowed, tracking the rhythm of their breathing, the intimacy of the moment mocking him from behind the glass. He didn't move to intervene. He simply sat there, a silent predator in the shadows, clenching his fist so hard his nails bit into his palm. She didn't know he was there. She didn't know that by seeking comfort in those arms. She had just set a fire in a man who didn't know how to let go.